The conquest of Makkah was a critical event in the history of Islam, which took place in 630 CE. It was the capture of the city of Makkah by the forces of Prophet Muhammad and his followers, who were seeking to establish their control over the region and end Meccan resistance to the spread of Islam. At the time of the conquest, Makkah was the center of the Arabian Peninsula, with a population of around 10,000. It was also home to the Kaaba, a sacred shrine that housed the idols of many of the Arabian gods. The city was a major center of commerce and trade, and its control was crucial to the stability and prosperity of the region. In the years leading up to the conquest, the Prophet Muhammad and his followers had been engaged in a series of battles and skirmishes with the Meccans. The Meccans were opposed to the spread of Islam and sought to undermine the growing influence of the Muslims. However, despite their efforts, the Muslims continued to grow in strength and numbers, and by 630 CE, the Prophet Muhammad was ready to make a final push for the control of Makkah. The conquest of Makkah was planned and executed with great care and precision. The Prophet Muhammad sent letters to the leaders of the tribes in the region, inviting them to join his forces in the conquest and promising them safe passage. Many of the tribes responded to his call and joined the Muslims, giving them a significant advantage in numbers and resources. The Muslim army, numbering around 10,000, marched on Makkah and surrounded the city, effectively cutting off its supplies and support. The Meccans, realizing the seriousness of the situation, sent a delegation to negotiate with the Prophet Muhammad, who offered them a generous peace agreement. The Meccans accepted the terms and the Prophet Muhammad entered Makkah at the head of his army, with the Meccans offering no resistance. The conquest of Makkah was a turning point in the history of Islam, and it marked the end of Meccan resistance to the spread of the religion. The Prophet Muhammad and his followers destroyed the idols in the Kaaba, purifying the shrine and declaring it to be the central mosque of Islam. The conquest also had a profound impact on the Arabian Peninsula, bringing an end to the intertribal conflict and establishing the Muslims as the dominant power in the region. In addition to its military and political significance, the conquest of Makkah is also remembered for the mercy and compassion shown by the Prophet Muhammad towards the Meccans. He granted amnesty to those who had opposed him and allowed them to remain in their homes and continue their lives as they saw fit. This act of kindness and forgiveness helped to establish the Prophet Muhammad as a leader of great compassion and won him many converts to Islam. In conclusion, the conquest of Makkah was a decisive event in the history of Islam and had a profound impact on the region and its people. It marked the end of Meccan resistance to the spread of the religion and established the Muslims as the dominant power in the region. The conquest is also remembered for the mercy and compassion shown by the Prophet Muhammad, which helped to establish his reputation as a leader of great compassion and further the spread of Islam.